Welcome to another LinkedIn Sites. I am Jeffrey Klein from Nine Dots, and I am so happy that people will come and agree to talk to me and share what they're about. So today is no exception with Jeff Swartz. If you could just start off by saying who you are and what do you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Jeff Swartz. I'm the CEO and founder of Ethic Advertising Agency. Um, we're a hyper-targeted digital advertising specialty agency with also services doing the creative that goes along with that. Mainly based in the Pittsburgh area. We do have some teammate members in Ohio and in Denver. But we also are rolling out some new technology called Qujam, which is the first and only self-serve geofence advertising platform for small businesses, made with small businesses.
Well, yeah, and when I've heard about QJam was the part that was pretty interesting. So you can answer this for QJam or I think depending. But so, what's the problem that you're basically solving for people?
Yeah, I guess, because we technically have two brands, right? So Ethic Advertising Agency is, we have our specialty in digital, but we're definitely an agency. We're very consultative. We do a lot of strategy. We operate as a true partner. So we're really solving more of the big picture problems. I'm talking more about lead generation and brand awareness and kind of more of a holistic approach. Where QJam, on the other hand, the agency really dived into programmatic digital advertising and geofencing with that. And we've had hundreds of conversations through being the backend provider for geofencing.com, geoconquesting, just being a thought leader on that area. And we realized that there's a lot of small businesses, small agencies that are like, hey, I can't meet minimums, or I just want to do it myself, or whatever it is. So the QJam brand is very different. It's completely automated. It's a platform that people can use and do themselves without having to interact with anybody, and they can set up and manage their own geofencing advertising campaigns for banner ads, OTT ads, and video pre-roll ads. So our two brands are very much aligned in some of the services that they do, but one is automated technology and the other one is consolidative partnership, more service-based kind of ad agency-based.
And just I want to make sure anyone who may see this understands. I know what you mean by geofence, but some others may not. Can you just give us a quick kind of explanation of what geofence advertising means?
Yeah, and there's different people will sometimes use it in different ways. So when I talk about geofence advertising, I'm really talking about pinpointing that a person has been at a very specific location, right, Jeffrey? So it's kind of like if I had your home address, I can do a geofence around your home. And the accuracy is usually about within 16 feet or 4.9 meters. So it's really targeted. It's not like a 1 mile radius. It's really like a building, a part of a building. And the map that we use is actually integrated into Google Maps. So we have satellite view, street view to really kind of hone in on those different areas. So we set up these fences using GPS technology. Then we capture the devices that have been in there. We don't get any privacy information for privacy reasons. We don't get any personal information. It's just the device ID. And then depending on the campaign we have deployed, when somebody goes on a app or a website or is streaming their favorite video or watching a video, it's the commercial that they see, it's the display ad that they experience, or even the audio ad that they listen to while they're listening to a podcast or or their favorite music or something. So often we'll capture mobile devices. But we also use something called connected device technology. So if my phone is also connected to my smart TV, my tablet, my computer, we're able to serve ads on those devices as well too. So not only figuring out, hey, this person was at my competitor's location, I want to serve them ads. We're serving ads not just on their mobile device, but also on all those other devices as well too. And then the final kind of component of it is really for brick and mortar locations. If I'm a restaurant and I'm trying to get people that are going to my competitors to go into my restaurant and I serve them geofencing ads, one of the cool things is we use the same GPS technology to also let them know, hey, they saw your ad and they came to your location. We call it conversion zones. So setting up a conversion zone around your location as well.
Yeah, my experience with geofencing that I always remember is that I was literally driving by a car wash, and when I parked, I got a little, hey, you know, here's a discount on getting a car wash. It's right here. So
Yeah.
I was like, well, and one of the things I think is interesting, some people find that kind of creepy. And so, but then on the flip side, like if it's relevant to you, then it's really great because now you're getting the discount or now you're getting something that's going to benefit you. And where do you think that balance lies in terms of, people
Yeah.
going, wait, how do you know where I am?
Yeah, and so that's a good question. And so what you're talking about, it might have been an SMS text message that you got, or maybe it was an in-app thing where they can use your location to send you a message via the app that you already have on there. Stuff that we use is not as intrusive. It's all banner ads, it's all video streaming ads, and all audio ads, right? When it comes to geofencing. And in-house, we can offer the audio. Qujam isn't going to be offering that quite yet because we want to kind of run before or walk before we run with that. And there's some inventory things that we kind of want to make sure that we can deliver on. So with that and kind of transitioning over to like privacy of, hey, where, like, I don't want people to know where I'm at. So in America and actually in Canada, where this technology is useful, you can opt out. So it's an opt-out base. This technology doesn't work in Europe. GDPR is more of an opt-in policy to where you are opting in to turn on your GPS. Well, in America, it's, hey, if you're in there, we're going to keep you into having GPS turned on your device until you opt out. You go into your settings and you say, hey, I don't want to be found. And 10% of Americans have that turned on their phone. So you're actually in control of it. It's just a lot more. It's easier to have GPS turned on than it is to go in and turn it off in our country, right? So you have full ability to do that. The geofencing that we do is not invasive. It's not pushing a message onto you. It's more of, hey, you're experiencing an app, a streaming service, a website or something like that, and we happen to be the ads that are there. You can also set up ad blockers to kind of prevent some of those things as well too. So you have a lot of those control. And then the third component is there's no data, personal data that we collect. Everything's encrypted. It's all device IDs. We don't know your name. We don't know any of that information and everything, which I know a lot of our clients like, oh, I wish I could be like, hey, Joe, saw that you're here and everything. But we're very, very strict on that. And then we also adhere to HIPAA laws, COPA laws, all these other things as well, too, to try to really have it not be an invasive kind of thing and have it be more of a customized kind of thing. For example, if you're an industrial company that only sells to like 400 shops across the country, well, having a custom ad for that person who's like, oh, I'm actually interested in these steel presses or whatever and everything, that makes a little bit of a better advertising experience than getting hit with a bunch of random ads as well too. But yeah, we're very cognizant of those privacy areas, and we try to do our best to not step over that line.
And in terms of the people that you're trying to market this to, who's kind of an ideal customer for either, Ethic or Qujam?
Yeah. So for Ethic, we want somebody who's going to be spending between $50,000 and, into the millions as their ad budget. That's where our sweet spot really is. So not giant companies, not mom and pop companies and everything. So that's where it allows us to have enough of a margin to do the consolidative stuff, to do all of the different levels that we have and everything. So budget wise, that's what we look for. And because our niche is hyper targeted digital, we can work in B2B industrial, we can work in retail, we can work in entertainment. There's a lot of different components that we can work with and deploy different things like social media advertising, pay-per-click, and if you're a nonprofit, Google grants, the programmatic side of things, which kind of relates to geofencing, but also goes into third-party and first-party data and keyword targeting and site retargeting and those kind of things. And then I think that I mentioned it, but social media as well too, and even native advertising. And we do have a good knowledge base about traditional as well too, so we can really kind of bring that holistic approach. So somebody who's looking for a good partner that has those kind of budgets and everything. If you do want us to do some of the creative as well too, it is easier for us to have our creative team that's based in Pittsburgh to be relatively local to you, and I believe that as well too. That's just kind of easier if you have a local partner that's really, really good. We are willing to travel and do those kind of things, but that's the kind of other component if you're talking about deploying our creative services. On the Qujam side of things, though, the ideal person is somebody who's like, I like this geofencing technology. It sounds like it could work for my agency and my clients or my business and everything. And they maybe don't have the minimum spend to spend $10,000 to get access to their own self-serve platform. And that's $10,000 a month to get some of the access that you would need to have the same quality of technology. That's somebody who has been getting raked over the coals on the rate, or what we refer to as the cost per thousand. So the cost to deliver 1,000 impressions. That's somebody who doesn't want to talk to, me and my team and wait on us to have to make those optimizations and changes. And they're like, I know where they are. I'm going to set up my fence. I'm going to forget about it and everything. I'm just going to get the data that comes in. And I just want to be in control. It's somebody who's like, oh, I want to do this, but I want to use my credit card. I want to be able to see the information. I just want to be able to do it myself, and really built for more of small businesses, but also small departments, I would say too. You can be at a big company that can deploy this for a little bit of money if you have a really niche audience. I mentioned industrial and everything. So example we have is an industrial company that only cares about 300, 400 different companies around here. So they tested this, and the offices that they geofence increased their likelihood of getting that sales appointment by 150%. So, and they're a big company as well too, global company as well, but they're spending a little bit of money to get, I think that their average sale is definitely 7 figures, somewhere in there and everything. And they might spend, $20,000 on a campaign or something like that.
Fascinating, really interesting. I love how you can really target. I mean, I always find that really interesting about digital technology, and it's getting smarter and smarter to really find the people that are relevant. So I'm in the process of writing a book, Content Beast, and so I'm always interested in, and I have a podcast. So can you name a business book or a podcast that you think is worth listening to or reading?
Yeah, I am very big into reading. And when I say reading, kind of cheating, audiobooks. I'm very big in when I'm mowing the lawn or have some time to just kind of focus on some things. So I actually every year put out a book list that we have. So we have 2022 book list on our website, has a list of them, and then we'll have 2023 as well too. And then we do a book club at Ethic Advertising Agency as well too, where we pick one book, we read it, and then we all discuss it. So not to go through the whole list, but this year's book is called The Energy Bus. And it's all about being on the same bus, moving in the same direction with positive energy. So I really like that as getting a good cohesive team. If we're going to talk about a business book that is like the best step-by-step, more like tangible, hey, do this, follow these steps, Traction by Gino Wickman is one of my favorite ones as well too. And then the other one that was last year's read that I really like and everything is called Contagious. The reason why things catch on. Have you read that one?
I have, yeah. And the guy who wrote it is a local professor.
Oh, yeah.
He's at Wharton, but great book.
Yeah, so that was last year's book club book, and I really liked it and everything. Very academic and like storytelling and everything.
It's academic.
Very good information in there as to the reasoning behind why things catch on from an academic standpoint. So those are some of the 3 that I have out there. But again, like on our website, we have a list from last year. That's probably, I think it's like 6 or so. And they're mainly going to be related to business or team and culture or advertising that we have on there.
Well, my hope is one day that my book will be on that list. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, let me know when it's done. I'll definitely give it a read.
So we're on LinkedIn Live. Can you think of a LinkedIn connection other than myself that you're happy that you have?
Yeah. I mean, again, a lot of good connections on there. One of the ones that I always come back to though is a guy named Jeff Nicholson. He's the CEO of Tracer, which is backed by Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. I know a lot of people are familiar with him. But when was this? Would have been like 2018, no, 2017, I would say, maybe 16 even, somewhere in there, 2016, 2017. I had the opportunity I saw him on a podcast that was, I forget what the name of it was, but he was a guest on there, and it was all about like trading something for something and everything. So they always ended this show with saying, hey, like, what if someone's out there that's watching this, can you trade something to get a hour of Jeff Nicholson's time and everything? And I thought that was cool. And I remember watching it and being like, this guy's really smart and everything. And he is. He's brilliant. And I kept on seeing all of the comments of like, if you come to Houston, I'll give you Rockets tickets. I'll do one of my favorites was I'll do a week's worth of social media for you advertising when he's part of this big company that does those kind of things. So I was like, all right, I'm going to throw this out there and see what can I give him that he can't have? And a lot of it is time, right? So I said, hey, not only I'm in Pittsburgh, you're in New York, not only will I come out there for the interview instead of doing it virtually and everything, but I'm going to spend an hour with you. The rest of my day, I'm going to donate it to a charity that you want and everything. Because one of the things that these individuals don't have a lot of is time. They have the same amount of time as everybody else, and then it's monopolized by other things, right? So I was lucky enough to get picked to go out there. I had a great conversation with them. And what we ended up doing was for Pencils of Promise, we raised some money at a little event that we had back in Pittsburgh and everything, because there wasn't anything for me to really do out there. And he's like, this is what would be good. So that's what we ended up doing for the kind of trade. But I got some great information. I've been able to stay connected with him, and it's been a valuable mentor to me. Brilliant individual and everything. So he's one of my favorite connections in there, but I have a lot that are in there, but he's the one who's kind of top of mind for me right now.
I don't know if you've ever seen the TED Talk about how I bought a house with a paperclip.
No, I haven't. But is it the trading up thing? You start with the paperclip. Okay. Exactly. I think that I haven't seen the TED Talk, but I've seen viral videos of them trading up to buy a car or a house or something like that. It's very doable. I
love the idea of it, and it's one of my favorite TED Talks. Thank you. That's great. I love when we get to shout out other people. Now I'm writing a book about content, and you're involved in content. So what is your favorite type of content to consume from brands that you like?
So for me, video. So video-based content has always been my, the way that I like to digest it. I'm dyslexic as well too. So that has a component of the reading side. I think I'm a voracious reader as well too, and listening to audiobooks and everything and stuff. But I love digesting video content. That's the best way for me to engage with it. It's also what I kind of dipped my toe in with at the start of my career. So that's what my degree is in, actually, in video and audio production more than anything else. And everything from my bachelor's at University of Dayton. But I love to digest the video content that is well crafted, that has substance and content and entertainment kind of thing. So that's my favorite way to do it. But my belief system is, I actually wrote an ebook on 9 reasons why advertising doesn't work. And one of them is to just do the things that you like instead of doing the things that your audience likes as well too. So my belief system is that you should actually have multiple tiers of content in written, audio, and video form, and visual form too, graphics and everything, in order to really appeal to those different individuals. But also in a digital space, if you just have videos and you don't have text on it, then your SEO value goes way down, right? So there's a component of having multiple elements. And the beauty about video is you can actually pull, like, this video can have one long video. You could actually go in there and say, this is a really great clip. I'm gonna do 30 seconds of this, or take a screen grab and do this. You can build all these little content things off of it.
Yeah, obviously I'm a huge video person. That's what I do. But I think the concept is, you got to meet your audience where they are. And so if your audience are big readers, then we'll give them more, text. But generally speaking, as a species of consumers, video still crushes everything else. And that's not that you should ignore those other things. I also think you can maximize. So I always, when I'm talking to clients, I'm like, right, we can record a video. We can then take the audio and create a podcast. You can take the text and create a blog. And then you can edit all those pieces up. And so it's about really understanding, like, how do you maximize whatever content you're using. And I think the first thing you said, which was really critical, which is make sure it's good. So it's one thing to have content, and well-crafted content does not always mean high production value, although I think there's a place, of course, for that. It's also about, is your message clear? Is it resonate with the audience? And it's going to, meet the objective of what you're trying to achieve, which is, you talked about from the beginning. What about your favorite? So this is a curious thing, because I know you have the experience back this. What's your favorite type of content to create? to promote your business? Is it also the same video? Is that still where we land?
Yeah. So to promote my own business, my favorite content. Well, my belief system is to create content in all layers, right, and everything. So we have blogs, we have video content, we have anything from promo videos to educational stuff. We even do training videos in here. So my favorite content to create is really video based and everything. And the funny thing is I don't like the limelight at all. I do like, I am going on a PR tour to promote Qujam and be in front of the camera and everything. But for me, I love talking about this stuff. And this is like the easiest format for me to be a part of as the face and everything. So we do write some things, but that's not fun for me. Having a conversation with Jeffrey is fun for me. Having a conversation with somebody else.
Feelings mutual.
Yes. Yeah. See, it's just enjoyable. We get to talk about what we do and everything in a conversation type based, with the hopes and the intention, keep in the back of our heads, what are we saying that's going to bring value to somebody? You know, and you mentioned production value and everything. This is not a big production value thing, but somebody could see this and be like, oh, that's a cool idea and everything. So it's about bringing value. And then there are right places, and those are sometimes the most fun, to bring up the high production value kind of things and stuff, more cinematic and everything. So it's a balance between quality and quantity, but no matter what, the value that you bring to somebody, and the value can be, social currency. If we're going to go back to that book, Contagious, it can be entertainment value, and it can be financial value. It could be knowledge value. It could be a number of different things, but it's got to be engaging and valuable.
Yeah. When I talk about the kind of content I try and create, it's always, I love the term edutainment, because you want to give value in terms of something that's going to be useful, but you want to do it in a way that's going to make a person want to watch or listen or read or whatever it is. And so I think that balance is always there. What do you think is the biggest challenge for your clients or for people in general to create that consistent, valuable content?
So the biggest challenge when it comes to content, and for like, my agencies are very focused on paid advertising, right? So it's like more of like well planned out, like snippets of different things. So it's maybe like a 30-second commercial and everything. So there's a big difference between paid media and then the more earned and organic media side of things as well too, which I think that the conversation kind of leans a little bit more towards the organic in a way. So for us, we can kind of really craft that for them, work with them. But from the organic side of things, I've always said one of the best things that you can do is making sure that you can have the time to get that information out there. A third party, anybody that you hire that's third party, is not going to have the boots on the ground as well as somebody that's local, right? So one of the biggest challenges is having, clients and really any business understand that, like, okay, either I need to do it myself and invest my currency of time and everything, or if I hire somebody, it's not just off my plate. I still need to invest that to be able to make sure that we're crafting the right types of messages, that I'm getting the right information out there, and really information dumping on that third party company, so then they can use their expertise to weed through what the audience really wants. What I find that people have a hard time with is they hire somebody to think that's off of their plate, and then they're like, oh, go handle it. And then they're not happy with what's being produced. There's got to be, hire somebody to do a lot of the legwork and everything like that, and you will reduce the amount of time that you have to spend on it. But it's not going to be zero. In fact, I would say a good accuracy is maybe half of your time gets cut, but the other half of your time is more valuable to make sure that they have what they need, because it's boots. It should be coming from the boots on the ground, really.
Yeah, when you have a client, they're the expert on what they do, and our job is to extract that from them. If we don't understand, if they don't give us what we need, how are we going to craft something that's going to be meaningful? And so, that's why you have discovery calls and pre-production. Oh my God, what people don't, when I send out proposals like pre-production, production, post-production, most people, when they think about creating something, they're focused on the production.
Yeah.
They're forgetting about the other two parts that are really important to people.
Yeah.
It's I think, again, our job is to kind of, walk them, guide them through that. And understand, like, no, I'm going to need your, we're going to make this faster and better, but we need you. You can't just go on vacation.
Yeah, and advertisers, like the most, like, when somebody hires our agency, they're going to spend more time right when we're first hired. We're onboarding, we're learning, we're doing all these things, getting things going and everything. I know that can be frustrating and everything, but we need to extract that information during our discovery process, right? So, people should have understanding of like, okay, it's going to be a lot of my time to get you guys up to speed. And then from there will be that point of we take it over and everything of, the pre-production is the most important part of the whole production process. And that's video terms, right? It's also the pre-planning for a campaign or whatever it is also the most important thing because it lays the foundation to build upon, right? So advertisers, they need to be engaged during that with the understanding there's a light at the end of the tunnel. The next campaign that we do will be a lot easier because we don't have to ask some of the same questions and everything. The middle and the end of the campaign will be a lot easier because we get to a point of we're doing all the work, and then we might be like, hey, check this out, or hey, can we meet to talk about what you have going on over here and how it affects us and everything. So that onboarding is always the hardest, especially with a brand new client. But then even onboarding a new campaign, there's still some time that's on there, and we have to try to find that balance as the service provider of making it as easy and enjoyable as possible. But the advertiser still has to understand I still have to put time into it and everything to at least just show up for a call and just spew out all the information that I have in there. Or here's the assets that we've already created, so I don't have to spend money on recreating things as well too. Because we're a very budget conscious agency as well too. We don't want people to overspend. We want them to maximize their budgets.
Always. Final question, which is not related exactly, but I produce animated video. Yep. So I always like to find out what's your favorite animated character in the pantheon of characters that have been created through time.
That's a hard one. It'd be hard to pick one because there's so many great ones.
One of your favorite characters.
One of my favorite, but one of the things that I keep on thinking about recently is Mario. Because the movie just came out and stuff like that, but the reason why I keep thinking about it is Mario was never supposed to happen. The Nintendo, when they were being this young, scrappy company, originally made this game. Do you happen to know this story?
I don't know. I'm excited. Go.
They made it for Popeye. So Popeye was supposed to be Mario. Olive Oil became Princess Peach and everything. And I forget the villain from Popeye became Donkey Kong, right?
Brutus.
Brutus, yeah. So the reason why that happened is business related. And I get jazzed about business and everything. So that's just kind of is what's interesting to me is Nintendo couldn't get the rights to Popeye. So they created this fictional character out of nothing. And I just think that it's kind of fascinating that one of the most iconic video game characters of all time was done because of the scrappy underdog mentality of like, we had this really cool game and everything that was meant for something. We couldn't get the rights for it because we didn't have the money. So we switched it and then built this empire out of it as well too. So I would say Mario is one of my favorites. And it's kind of because of that story.
Yeah, I love that. And it's really, it shows real entrepreneurship and real business innovation, which is, you have an obstacle and what do you do? And so that's where I think that there's a expression, creativity is, the mother of invention.
Yeah.
So where basically when there's a problem, that's when real things spark out and you create things that are new and different. Erica said Wonder Woman. I was a fan of Wonder Woman, especially as a teenager and just the lasso and the whole thing. But yeah, and I like that. I think you're maybe one of the people who picked a game character, which I think is great because they're anime characters and they're it's become so huge and it's hard to think that almost didn't happen. That it's such a iconic character now that might never have been. And so I guess we should thank whoever owned the rights to Popeye for saying no. Because otherwise we wouldn't have Mario.
Yeah, and a lot of people know Popeye and everything, but the popularity of Mario Brothers versus Popeye, it's crazy. Who knows what could have happened and everything? As well as I see that and I think about, man, that's such a pivotal point of being deflated of like we had this thing and then we were told no, that a lot of people might just give up at that point. And how many people did give up at those different intervals that could have had that amazing kind of thing? So it's just, you know, opportunity and luck and everything has a lot of preparation and stuff, but there's all that risk taking that's involved in it. So I love that story. So that's, I mean, that's why Mario's out there. But if I'm going to go with like a superhero thing, I growing up, you know, Batman in the DC universe was my big thing. Also a big Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters fan.
All right. Love it. Well, Jeff, this has been awesome. It's clear you and I have a lot of alignment in terms of the way we approach, you know, business and life and animated characters. So it's I just want to say thank you for sharing. And it's been really great. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, Jeffrey, thanks for having me on. I really had a lot of fun.
Thanks so much. And thanks to all of you for watching. Until next time, we'll see you on the flip side.